Hey gang, so we're gonna start making this game. It's gonna be this Mario game. We're gonna be able to move around and collect coins and eventually deal with the fact that we die. Yes, this is the beauty of life. I was listening to a song the other day I really liked where the singer said, "Death is beautiful." So it is. But we're not gonna die yet, thank God. Instead, we're going to get rich. We're going to collect these coins. We're actually just going to make these coins. We're not going to collect them yet. And so I'm going to get started. This series of videos is going to be using this repository on GitHub. You can see we're going to make a coin class. We're going to make a Mario class. We're going to make a game class. And eventually we're going to have enemies. And then we're going to die. But I think along the way you'll learn a lot about games, and hopefully you'll find it useful in putting together your own game. We'll see. So if you want to get started, you can go ahead and clone this repo. I actually recommend you fork it first. Make it your own. Put it in your own repository. Just click this button, and you'll be able to fork it to yourself. You can see I can't do that right now. But I'm going to get started, actually. It says here the second branch is a coin class. But this first video, we're not going to make that coin class. We're just going to do this sort of naively without classes. And then I think it'll help you understand why we like classes and how we can use them to help organize our code. So hopefully you've got this starter. You downloaded it. The link is in the description of this video if you are lacking it. It's also on the course website. All it is we've got our assets over here, and we're going to just use these two for now. We've got our libraries. I'm not using the P5 sound yet. We may not. We've got an index.html. And it's loading in this sketch file and also these image utilities. We're not going to use those yet, but when we do, believe me, you'll know about it. We're going to start with this sketch, and we're going to do, it's just going to be kind of a review of what we did last time. So, you remember last time we loaded in an image, and then we grabbed some portions of it to animate those. And so this is a sprite sheet. And this sprite sheet has some coins on it. I'm going to just grab a couple of these coins and we're going to use them to animate. And if you decide to, you can animate different coins. Or use stars instead. I don't know. Branch out. Do your own thing. But I'm going to start off by just loading. So I've got this image loaded in as objects image. Now I need to grab little portions of it. And one way I can do that is to... well, first of all, let's just display the whole thing. And something that VS Code does sometimes that I really dislike is it changes what I wrote. I don't like that, but what can you do? So I'm going to take this objects image and I'm going to display it at 0, 0. Just the size that it is, and we'll see what that looks like. So I think that's going to be here. Yeah, so there's my objects image. I'm displaying it at the position 0, 0. What I want to do is I want to get 1, 2, 3, 4 coins right here. And I have had the foresight to actually figure out what that value is. So in my setup, what I can do is I can say... Instead of this, I'm just going to say coin equals, and we'll just set this to 0 for now, and we'll come back and change that. So we've got this coin here, and I'm going to say let coin up here, and then down here I can say coin. We can check that in the browser and see there's my coin. So now I'm not grabbing that whole image, I'm just grabbing one small portion of it and putting it at 0, 0. Let's move it over a little. I'll move it over to 200, 200, and let's make it bigger. And so now we're going to have this big coin right there. Now, but we don't just want that one big coin. We want to have a whole bunch of them. So we're going to we'll make an empty array. And you notice how now I can use a constant because we're not going to reassign coins. We're just going to add some coins to it. So what I'm going to do is say coins dot push, and I'll just push this one into this array. So we use array and array name dot push to add something to an array, and we'll see. Oh, coin is not defined. Right. So now instead of using coin, I have to say coins at 0. And we'll see that we get that same coin. Now, if we want to add more than one coin, you guessed it, we are going to need a loop of some kind. And what I'm going to do to start is just write a for loop. And I'll put that inside there. And change this so that it's actually saying let. And I'm going to change this to I. And that way it's going to iterate. This is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3 times 16. And we can also create a, we'll make a constant called num coins and set that to 4. And we'll say let coin counter equals 0. And make sure I spell it right. And then in my draw loop, I'm going to say coin counter. We're still only going to get that one coin, but if I want to get all those coins, what I can do is instead do something like this. I'll say if coin counter is less than coins.length minus 1, right? Because we don't ever want to get to 4. We always want to be 0, 1, 2, or 3. That's our 4 coins, 0, 1, 2, or 3. And this, forgetting to do this -1, is the most number one-est of code errors, which is why I so prefer using for loops, which we'll do in a minute, or for each loops. So here we're going to say if coin counter, then we'll say coin counter plus plus else coin counter equals 0. And we'll just take a look at this and see, yep, there we go. Now something that I noticed when I was looking at Mario Brothers is these coins actually are on a slightly different kind of pausey loop. And it's hard to see there, but there you can kind of see it kind of pauses on the full. I'm going to imitate that just because it's fun. So what we need to do is we need to have, I think the easiest way to do this, there could be a million ways to do this, but I think the easiest way is to actually make more images of the first one, and then so that we would count through this loop. I'll just show you what I'm trying to, I'm going to articulate it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say if I is less than num coins, then let's go ahead and use this I. And we'll push that, and we'll say else. So when I is greater than num coins, and you're saying, but it won't ever be greater than num coins because there's a for loop there. But you'll see in a sec that it will be. I'm going to say instead, let's just say like 8. So we'll double the length of this loop, but we'll have the last 4 are all going to be that first frame. So now let's just see here. That should work, and we'll look in our browser and we'll see if we're getting a little animation. And you know what? I'm feeling like it could still be longer on the this guy. So let's go ahead and make this 12. So we'll add more of the first one, and now you get kind of like that pulsy thing. So that's a way to do this without any classes or anything of that nature. And now, if I want to make multiple of these, what I can do is, in this case, I suppose what I could do is just take this and write it like 4 times. And we'll see what we get. So we get them all the way across the screen, which is nice. But in the context of a game, we want to know, like, for instance, if we should show something or not. And if we wanted to figure out if for instance this coin has been collected, then we'd need to take and have a whole bunch of if statements in here, and we would probably need to keep track of just like a lot of stuff right here in the main body of our draw loop. And I'm already finding it to be sort of overwhelming. If I want to change the image, I guess it won't be a big deal in this case, but there's all kinds of stuff there's all kinds of reasons why we might want to extend this code in various ways. And as we do, we're going to start running into problems, which is why it's a great idea to use something called a class. And we can use a class to create each one of these coins. They can exist individually, and they can each have their own version of something called state, which we're going to be talking about in this video and in the next video. Today, in today's videos, and also in further days' videos. But I just wanted to show you like a brief version of this without any kind of shenanigans. To say you can write code like this. It's totally legit. It works. I've seen stuff that exists like on the internet that looks like this, and certainly older code. Code by beginners often sort of looks like this. But to me, whenever I see stuff being duplicated, I think, there's got to be a better way. And the good thing is, there is. And I'm going to show you in the next